Hit the like button to sweep away roadblocks, and drop your zodiac sign in the comments. This is how you tune this forecast to your energy and make it work for you. Today is not just another date on the calendar, it's an invitation. An invitation to stop striving to be perfect and start allowing yourself to be fully alive. This doesn't mean abandoning order, neatness, or discernment. It means daring to live by feeling rather than by a script. Because 28 October can stir awake something in you that's been hidden under the word must. Your morning may begin in its usual way. Tasks, thoughts, obligations, a tidy list of to-dos, but between the lines a strange pull can appear, as if something important is calling you off to the side. What once felt calming now feels draining. Not fatigue, but inner maturity. It's the moment when logic kindly steps aside, so intuition can lead. If you give that pull a little trust, the day will take you somewhere you haven't visited in a while. Back to yourself. Virgo often excels at caring for others, for details, for the process, but forgets to care for the self. Today you might feel that acutely, everything looks fine, everyone seems satisfied, yet inside there's a hollow note. You're doing everything right, and it still doesn't light you up. That's not a mistake, it's a message. It's time to turn toward yourself. In the first half of the day, your patience may be tested. Someone could arrive late, break an agreement, or drop the ball. Your first impulse might be irritation followed by the urge to fix it all, to plug every leak yourself. But the key is here. Today teaches you to loosen your grip. Not everything needs rescuing. Not everyone seeks it, and you are not required to be everyone's anchor. Little triggers can feel louder than usual. Someone says the wrong thing, leaves a cup in the wrong place, and tension starts to build. 28 October invites you not to swallow it, but to look deeper. What's beneath the impulse to correct everything? What would happen if you didn't step in? The world won't collapse, and you might take your first real exhale in a long time. If an unexpected invitation arrives, don't rush to decline. Not all apparent chaos leads to ruin. Sometimes joy is born in the unpredictable. A glitch in the system can spark illumination. Allow yourself to step beyond the fence of control for a moment, and you'll notice life has been trying to show you more than you've been willing to let in. Be attentive not only to actions but to thoughts. Every thought is a seed. What you think about yourself today becomes soil for tomorrow's state. If your inner dialogue slides back into criticism, slow it gently. Ask, would I speak to someone I love this way? If not, why speak that way to yourself? 28 October is excellent for realizations, for seeing your life not as a project but as a living process. You are not a machine or a duty. You are a human who may err, tire, change, slow down, and be many things. And 28 October gives you rare space to feel that without guilt. Around midday, a pause may appear, perhaps not outwardly, but inside. In that soft breaking, you may see that what once felt urgent no longer is. The day stretches the edges of your routine, not to derail you but to remind you that you can choose your path anew. You might recognize that you no longer wish to haul other people's expectations. That's not petulance or exhaustion, that's honesty. If you hear even a quiet, "I don't want to," take it seriously. It's the voice of the part of you that hasn't had the microphone and knows care begins with you. Virgo's sensitivity to nuance is heightened now. You may sense when words say one thing and feelings say another, when a smile hides weariness, when politeness masks distance. Your reflex is to mend and harmonize. Yet the stars gently suggest, not every moment calls for fixing. Sometimes the medicine is simply presence. If tension peaks around the middle of the day, take it as a signal. Don't push through mindlessly. Pause and ask where you lost contact with yourself. We often burn out not from the tasks themselves, but from doing them out of fear of being not good enough. Today you can make a different choice to act from alignment, not anxiety. You may notice autopilot behaviors and even feel oddly distant from those you interact with constantly. That's a mirror, not a problem. It reflects how far you've drifted from yourself. Decline one insincere conversation, one unnecessary meeting, or one polite but empty exchange, and a piece of your energy returns. Do not sign on to initiatives that don't resonate, even if they look useful or promising. What doesn't warm, drains. And 28 October makes it very clear where patience is strength, and where patience is self-betrayal. If there's something that has long siphoned your energy, and you haven't been able to close it out, today is a good day to put a respectful period at the end. Not with anger or depletion, but with self-regard. You have the right to leave unfinished what no longer resonates. Not everything that begins must be carried to the finish line, especially if the finish only empties you. Your intuition may show up in the simplest scenes, a nudge to take a different route, not to call, not to open a certain message. Listen, you don't have to confirm every insight with logic. Sometimes the soul knows first. Trusting it will make life lighter. Pay attention to your body. A slight heaviness, a tightening in the chest, or tired shoulders may surface. Not just physical sensations, but signals that you've been living under tension for too long. Let yourself release a little. Let one breath be completely real. Let one step lead not to a goal but back to you. That alone begins your return home. If there's someone near whom you feel accepted, spend a little time together this evening, without analysis or planning, simply sharing space. Moments like that can be healing, and if such a person isn't present right now, be that person for yourself. You are skilled at being a pillar for others. It's time to practice being your own. By evening, you may stop clinging to the plan and start simply feeling. Not analyzing or sorting, but sensing where calm resides and where it doesn't. Who stands beside you out of love and who out of guilt? What truly inspires and what persists only from habit? You might crave quiet, not because you're worn out, but because the loud things suddenly feel unnecessary. You may switch off the phone, cancel a meeting, close the door, and let messages wait. Not to withdraw, but to rediscover where you end and everyone else begins. This is a beautiful hour for inner cleansing. Not physical, but emotional. Recall where you haven't admitted you're tired, where you're strong only because you think you must be, where you keep giving when silence would be kinder. Today you may stop, not from anger but from self-respect. If you have a partner, evening can open a space for genuine closeness, the kind where one look says more than a dozen sentences. Vulnerability isn't weakness today, it's aliveness. If you're single, you may feel the importance of being heard, but that doesn't mean you need to seek out conversation. Sometimes solitude isn't the absence of someone, it's an invitation to come back to yourself, sit in a chair, light a candle, put on music, and allow yourself to exist without hurry or performance. In that state, your natural magnetism returns. Already your inner dialogue can soften by nightfall. Thoughts that felt sharp in the morning grow quieter, not from defeat, but from understanding that not everything requires a response. Sometimes the highest act is simply being with yourself. An inward embrace, no problem solving, no fixing, just the truth. I feel this, and it's okay to feel it. Inspiration may come not as a storm but as a warm glow. You might want to write, draw, or make something, not for outcome, but for the simple joy of creating. That's where real energy is born. Not the energy of strain, but of breath. Abru. Notice what you've been postponing. Is there a topic you avoid, a feeling you tuck away, an answer you fear? Make a small move toward it. You don't have to resolve it, just acknowledge it. The moment you name it, fear loses force. Reconnect. Keep things light, avoid conversations without heart, and don't accept situations that require you to be someone you're not. Especially avoid being around those who don't truly listen. Silence is truer than words now, and honesty matters more than habit. This is the perfect time for an inner check-in, not for criticism, but for support. Ask yourself, what do I genuinely want right now? Not for usefulness, but for the soul. Maybe it's an early bedtime, a pillow hug, or the luxury of doing nothing. You've earned it. Life isn't only about utility, it's about feeling alive. As the day closes, you may realize that much feels easier, not because everything resolved, but because you stopped wrestling with expectations and the need to be flawlessly in control. Peace rises in quiet. Life doesn't demand perfection, it asks for presence. And 28 October offers that presence in its purest form. No formulas, no justifications, simply a warm, gentle I am. Sometimes that's all it takes to feel the ground under your feet again. Looking back on 28 October, you'll see it wasn't about output. It was about returning to yourself, to feeling, to a life without borrowed roles or masks. You may not have accomplished anything big, but if you took even one guilt-free breath, if you allowed yourself even a minute of simple being, you lived this day well. A small act of self-respect can change more than a year of effort. The world begins to shift when you stop treating yourself like a project. When you start feeling instead of fixing, when you recognize that behind every wave of fatigue lies not laziness but a longing for warmth, you can give yourself that warmth, with a word, with silence, with an embrace, with acceptance. If you feel tears, let them come. That's cleansing, not weakness. If you want quiet, take it. That's a reset, not withdrawal. If you need to say I'm sorry, don't delay. Today, only words that come from the heart carry power. What's artificial fades, what's sincere turns magnetic. Iberki, before sleep, ask, what can I thank this day for? For the chance to slow down? For reminding me how to feel? For letting me see myself through warmth rather than checklists? Thank yourself, too, for continuing. Slowly is still forward. Pauses included. And if these words matter to you, consider sharing your own honest lines. Sometimes a few true sentences from you become a lantern for someone else. When you speak your feeling, another person finally exhales, and the day was not wasted.